No, vertical.
Vertical.
Welcome everybody, it's 1 o'clock. For joining me.
Problem. Oh, no, never mind. We're good.
The activities for tomatoes, but as you can see, this is not early season. This is more like early mid-season or late early season. I was hoping to show you when the plants were maybe 12 inches tall, but they've jumped a foot in the last week. But anyway, we'll talk about tomatoes. If you look at the program on May 5th, you can see how big the tomatoes were in 15 days, 2 weeks ago. You'll see how big they were and how big they are now. So one of the activities that we should be doing, and every gardener should be doing, is pruning the tomatoes. A lot of gardeners, they plant the tomatoes, put the cage around it, and they forget it. There are at least 3 times that you should be pruning your tomatoes that I can think of. And those are the determinate tomatoes. The determinate meaning the bush type, where they reach 4 foot height and they stop growing. So the first time you need to prune is what I call suckering. Suckering means removing all the extra branches that you don't need. And like you see here, this was done a while ago. You see there's a branch, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I removed. I left only the leader and one of the branches. So now I have 2 branches, but this is already branched twice and this is gonna branch again. So it used to be 2, now it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and by the time it reaches here, you're gonna have 10 stems. 10 fruiting branches, because you see this branch has fruit clusters. This will have fruit clusters, this will have fruit. 10 fruiting clusters is better than 15 and the bottom 5 are not fruiting. That's why we call them suckers. They suck water and fertilizer and don't give you any fruits. So please consider suckering the 5, 6 lower branches. And I have a video on that. I'll some other time we'll show you. This is one time. Second time I do pruning is when the plants are a little bit bigger and I remove anything that touches the soil. All the leaves that touches the soil, I want them out. They're old. Sometimes they have magnesium deficiency or just old and wilting from old age. But they're touching the ground, high risk of catching a soil-borne disease like buckeye rot, for example, or early blight. So this is twice. Third time is when the plants reach the top of the wire and you are early to mid-June. Cut anything that's above that line. You don't want it, or a cage, because even if it's still growing and has more flower clusters, this flower cluster in late June is not gonna give you fruit. So let's say, imagine that this branch here is above your cage and it's early June. Cut it here and let all the nutrient go into the fruits and flowers that are below. This will never set. Now we are end of May, I still have a month and a half. This will set and I'm gonna harvest that. I'm just saying that here is my top, there will be a string, so here's my top. When my tomatoes reach above this line, I'm gonna trim them. So here are 3 times minimum that you should be trimming and helping the plant remove the old foliage, let air circulation, all that helps the plant. Okay, that's in terms of pruning. Let's take a closer look at the stem on the plant. This plant looks real healthy in terms of stem thickness, and sometimes you may see nodules on them. If you look closely, you see little bumps. Those are the beginning of roots. Sometimes they're more visible and there's a lot of them. Don't worry about that. These are roots. So that's the nature of the plant. It's not gonna do anything. So that's fine. Okay. I don't see any diseases, but if you look at this plant here, look at this leaf and this leaf. That's why I told you remove anything the lowest or touching the ground, because they're already very weak. Look at this one. They're very weak. This doesn't look like a disease. This may be just age and, just age. Maybe magnesium deficiency, but I wouldn't worry, because if it was serious magnesium deficiency, it will be visible here. I don't see any yellowing or any serious. This leaf curl is the residue of the mite damage that I had earlier in the season. Look at the video on May 5th. You'll see how serious it was. I sprayed with my insecticidal soap recipe and it helped the plant. So of course the damaged leaf is not gonna outgrow the damage, it'll still be damaged, but the new growth looks real nice. Okay, so that is activities. I already sprayed this 3 times with insecticidal soap. Okay, like once a week, and I fertilized once a week. And I strung them twice a day, ran the string twice to support them, because I like this better than a cage. And I'll show you how I run the string. Right next is I'll show you how I run the string. This is commercial grade string that tomato growers use on a commercial scale, but you can use any rope, any wood rope or plastic rope that you can find at Lowe's or Home Depot. It doesn't matter. This is a one-time use, so if you get a bigger quality rope, you can use it for many years. Let me show you how we do the string. The idea is to support the plants in between the string. So I'm gonna run the string one way and come back on the other side and tie it. So you see here, close up, you see that this plant is caught in between the 2 strings and it's not gonna fall from its own weight to the ground. And as it gets taller, you run another string. I've already done 2, and by the time the plant reaches here, I'll probably have minimum 2 more stringing. So let's string one together. Just wanna it would help if you have gloves. So basically go on one side, pull tight around the stake, because you want that rope to be tight to support. Pull tight, go around. And now on the way back, you want to make sure that the string is catching on the plant. Pull it tight.